Thanks again, Sophia, for hopping on to another episode of Untapped Stories. I know we're going back and forth a bit over email and a bit before show too. Super excited to talk to you. For anyone who doesn't know, Sophia is a D2 college lacrosse player, and she's one of our best lacrosse coaches on Athletes Untapped. So should be a fun combo about training tips, your story growing up, and how you really see coaching. But I think for all the guests maybe who don't know your background or haven't heard from you before, I'd love to take it back to your early days. So maybe to kick it off, what were sports like for you growing up? Were you always a lacrosse player? Was that kind of like your number one sport? I know in particular, like your position too. And how did those early days of youth sports shape who you became as a player and coach?
Yeah, so I started sports like in kindergarten. I started as cheer and I just did not like it at all. It was great sometimes, but then at times I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I started playing basketball in like third grade. I was the only girl on the all boys team because none of the other girls in my grade at
Love
school
that.
wanted to play. So I did that. And then in middle school, I started volleyball. I love volleyball. I miss it sometimes. I played all three. I played basketball and volleyball all through high school. And then I started lacrosse in eighth grade,
Oh
and
wow.
I started as a defender. So I was in the very first team that my K through 12 school started. So my ninth grade class was the first one to go all 4 years, which is really cool.
Nice.
I just have been around sports my entire life, and now I'm majoring in sports at school, like sports med. So it'll go for all my life. I'll be in part of sports.
I think I've heard that before. And honestly, I talked a bit before show, but I played lacrosse a little bit. It was that same year. I was eighth grade. I played for 1 year and then just went back to basketball. It was fun though. But is that a common thread for maybe parents and athletes who, they play multiple sports, they've thought about getting into lacrosse, but they might think it's too late? Do you see a lot of kids pick it up?
Yeah, a lot of my athletes that I've been working with, like recently, they are starting in high school, and honestly, it's really easy to pick up once you go from other sports because, like with basketball specifically, like footwork very similar, like the defensive strategies, and if you're gonna play a
Mhm.
zone versus a man, like those defensive strategies are really easy to work together.
Hmm.
And I think it's great to just like I think it's important to play multiple sports. So if anything you take away, you should be playing multiple sports because it's really good for injury prevention and really good for honing in your skills.
Love that. And I think lacrosse is like if you're going to pick up an extra sport, the perfect one to do. It's active, it's engaging. I mean, I also love baseball, but I can see a lot of kids. It's a little bit slower. So if you're going to pick that up later in life, it might be tough if you don't grow up with it. But
Yeah.
this lacrosse seems like a lot of fun. What about kids who pick it up and just like recommending positions? Like when you're in middle school, high school, should you try to target one position to focus on, or just like maybe go to the coach if you're athletic and say, what do you need? Like what's easiest to get, I guess, started in as a kid?
I think that it's really important to just really focus on your six skills. Like six skills is most important, and then I just got put on defense because that was my strong suit for other sports.
Okay.
So I think that just figure like trying out different things, and like with my athletes that I work with, I teach them defensive and attack strategies.
Okay.
So if you're good at both, you can play midfield, and that would be really fun for you. Or if you like are really good with footwork, defense can be really good for you. If you like if you're really good, like your handles are really good and your hand eyes are really good, attack might be good. If you are just like if you get a few screws loose, being a goalie might be good for you. So because it takes a lot to step in front of a ball going 70 plus miles an hour just straight at your face.
My wife played college soccer, and she said the same thing. All of her goalies were just a little bit just intense, is a good way to put it. But you
Yeah,
need to be that way. You have to stay locked in like for
yeah,
60 minutes when you're not always getting engaged. What about just like on in general about women's lacrosse? I know it's kind of like men's lacrosse, like it's exploding across the country. I still think
yeah.
some colleges and like areas in the West Coast haven't picked it up like we have on the East Coast. But what's been like your general take about the game? Like, is there a lot of buzz around young girls that want to play lacrosse, or is it still, I guess, the industry still have a long way to go getting up to the other main core sports?
I think that it's definitely is growing, and like there's a lot. It's gonna take a hot minute for it to get to like the same popularity as basketball or football or something bigger like that. But I think it's definitely growing. And like Anderson's program just started. We're graduating our first class of seniors this year,
Nice.
so we are just now starting, and we've grown so fast. Just like everybody, like the buy-in is huge. Like everybody wants to play. Being and like the difference between men's and women's is women's we wear a lot less padding. Like we get our like the field players get goggles and that is it. But it's still really great. And like you can still be like aggressive and like get your anger out sometimes. But like us goalies, like we were about the same as the men's field players do. But I think that lacrosse as a whole is like really growing really fast, and I think that's really exciting. And just like seeing so many like where I'm from, there's a at least 5 or 6 big club like organizations that have teams for
nice.
like kindergarten all the way through high school, and like some summer league teams like for college athletes to come back and keep playing too.
I know I'm from the Philadelphia area around here, and I went to school in Baltimore for college, so it's like it's not quite at basketball, soccer, baseball levels yet, but it's like it's getting there. I think it's got a long way to go across the country, but that's cool that like young small clubs are popping up. Before I get to some other questions, I've always been curious from a women's lacrosse standpoint. Do you wish it was full contact like men's, or is it better being separate and not as physical?
It kind of depends on how you play. When I played in high school, I was very aggressive, so it was full contact for me. I had bruises all over my arms, just everywhere from getting hit all the time. If it was full contact, I think it'd be a lot worse, because the guys, like, I'll watch some of our guys' games here, and they're just like going at it, like just beating each other up with their sticks. It's absolutely insane. But like sometimes you go to a high school girls game and they're doing the exact same thing.
That's really funny. I was always curious because my wife played soccer. I don't really know too many women's lacrosse players as I get older in life, but never knew if they were like, I wish it was like the men's, like you can just deck somebody, or if it's better separate and more finesse. But that's really cool. What about for an athlete standpoint? So I know you coach a lot of young kids, and again, parents have said nothing but good things about you. So what's one of the biggest mistakes that you think you see young lacrosse players make now that could help them have a better career or a better path moving forward? Like, is it maybe like they don't get the fundamentals down quickly enough? The mental side of the game's hard to understand it. Like, what's one thing young athletes can do to improve pretty quickly?
Really just honing on the fundamentals, honestly. Like even our team will have like a fundamentals practice sometimes where we'll just do like stick work the whole time. We'll work on ground balls. We'll work on like placing your shots. Like it's like stick skills is really, really important, because if you can't pass and catch, you can't play the game. Because if the ball is just on the ground the entire time, you got to be able to get those ground balls too. If the ball's just on the ground the other time, you're not going to be able to play the game at all.
Yeah.
So focusing on fundamentals is really important, and not getting ahead of yourself too much. And of course, it's really fun to like work on like your finesse shots and all that. However, if you don't have your fundamentals, you're not going to be able to get to that place. So I think it's really important.
That's fair.
Is honing in on those.
What about for young athletes who maybe they want to pick up lacrosse for the first time, parents didn't play, they don't have siblings, and they want to get better by themselves? What can you do to get better as a lacrosse player training on your own?
So for younger kids, like if they like obviously can't drive, I think if they can go and like out in their front yard, or like if they can go in like their driveway or the sidewalk in front of their house and use like chalk and draw ladders, and they can do like little foot drills or something like that. Or if you have a brick wall at your house and you have a stick, you can pass against the wall. We do wall ball like that. Or even if you don't have a stick and you have just a ball, you can like do hand-eye, like catching the ball, and because it'll bounce differently off the brick, so like going and catching it off the wall is really good. If like even if you can't drive, like doing stuff at home is really good. Like you can go on runs, like get your like endurance up is really good. So like I'll go on runs while I'm at home if I like don't want to go to if I don't want to go to the field or I have other stuff to do during the day.
I like that. Wall ball makes a lot of sense.
Wall ball is really important. Like I hit the wall often.
Even as a goalie, I feel like that's, I don't know why, but I imagine that more for like maybe a midfielder working back and forth. But I guess goalies would need to too. Like you're blocking and passing out. So what about from an athlete standpoint? Could be somebody you've trained, or maybe even somebody that you played with. What's one really cool breakthrough story where you saw maybe like a new lacrosse player just like quote unquote get it? Like they finally everything clicked and it took this bit of training, or they did this differently to get to that point. Because I know if it's a new sport for everyone, there's different learning curves. But what's a good breakthrough story that you've seen, whether it's again a kid or a teammate?
When I was in high school, so like our team had just started, so a lot of girls were the very first time. I was a senior, there was a girl who was a sophomore, and she was on attack, and she was just like not getting, like some of her shots were just like going straight to the goalie stick every single time. But then she started learning how to like put a fake on her shot, and it would go in every single time. So like her learning how to like do her stick skills, like I would see her after practice, like hitting the wall, like getting her passing up. She would like text the group chat, hey, can anyone stay after or come early to practice with me? So like putting in extra work is really important, and asking for help is really important. So she would ask coach for help all the time. She would ask other people who had been playing for longer, like for help. So like asking for help is really important in the sport, like because it's great to hit the wall. It's great to do that self-training, but at the same time, you like really need to like it's good to have someone with you, and asking for help is really important.
What was that piece you said about the finishing? It's like you said a flick. What was she doing to go from getting blocked? So
she would throw a fake. So with her stick, she would twist it so it looked like she was shooting, and then shoot somewhere else. So she would shoot high and then like fake up high and then go down low with her shots.
Is that and I'm picturing a lacrosse game, a couple that I've seen, is that as you get closer to the goalie, like only a couple feet away, because you can't really do that from distance, right?
Usually. Yeah,
Okay.
like so if you're just going around the crease, like going on that circle in front of the goal, you're gonna want to like throw something on it because we can usually track it pretty easily if you don't throw a fake on it. But if you throw a fake on it, it will throw us off. And a lot of younger goalies, including myself, sometimes will like jump on the fake.
Hmm.
So like a lot of college girls that like on girls on my team will like throw 2 or 3 fakes and then shoot to try and get you off your game.
And to practice that, you just throw a couple fakes and like zip it against the wall, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So
Wow,
you can
I
like
like that.
do one in front and then throw it against the wall, and then one in front and then throw it against the wall. Just learning how to move your stick in that way.
That's a good tip. I mean, already you've given a lot of good feedback. I think that's one in particular. I, not knowing lacrosse as much, would definitely want to share for young athletes. Just like an easy way to get better. Because again, you have to have the fundamentals, but if you get that down, what can you layer on top to separate yourself? That sounds like an easy win for attackmen.
Yeah.
I know it's tough being a goalie. Again, I've known some goalies, and they're always a tough, different breed. What do you do personally when you're struggling after giving up a couple goals or a tough game or like you had a slump? Like, what do you do mentally in lacrosse to get back at it? Is it just more practice, more training? Do you take a step back? Like, how do you refocus after you have a tough go?
If it's like a tough practice, like I honestly really just remember who I'm playing for. I'm not playing for myself. I'm not like I'm playing to be with my teammates and help them win. And we are a team. We have to work together. But honestly, I'm not playing for myself. I'm playing for God. I'm playing for His glory. It's not for my glory. I just have to remember, okay, and then I can just go after the next one. And if I miss the next one, that's okay. And you got to be a goldfish. You got to let it flush out. Remember, you're not playing for yourself. You're playing for someone bigger. So that's really what I do personally. A lot of people just like, you got to let it flush out. Like, mistakes are going to happen. Nobody's perfect. It's going to happen. You just got to keep going. And like on the really hard days, I'll like go to one of my other goalies and I'll be like, hey, I'm having a rough day. Like, help me out. Like, what am I doing wrong? How can I fix it?
I like that.
And like like that asking for help thing is really, really important.
Because I feel like it's such a siloed position. Like if you play, midfield, attack, defense, whatever it is, that you always are on the field with the people. You're pretty much standing back there by yourself the entire game. So it can probably be easy to get in your own head. But I like leaning on the other goalies because what do most college teams carry? Like 3 or 4 goalies?
Yeah, it depends on the team. Last year there's only 2 of us. This year there's 4 of us.
Oh wow!
Next year we're gonna have 5, but I know that Limestone
That's
College,
a big jump.
before they closed down, unfortunately, they had 8 goalies on their roster, which was a
Oh my
lot.
God.
That's a lot. Like right now there's 4 of us, and it's like a lot of competition for like even in practice getting playing time, just so like who can get how many reps. Like whenever we play live, it's like how often do we switch or like something like that. Our little like goalie world, the 4 of us are like very close and it's really fun. Like we're all like very good friends.
It has to be that way. I feel like it's a quarterback room, same thing. Like, you
Yeah.
get 3 or 4 people, and if it's not a good dynamic, the whole team gets thrown off. It's probably the same way with the goal. If you guys are fighting, and you're the backbone of the team, it's just not going to be good for anyone.
Yeah.
That's really cool though. I know you mentioned it too, but I just checking out your page and what you're all about before we hopped on. It seems like faith is a big thing for you. So maybe the one question: how does faith shape the way you play and coach with young kids? Like, do you kind of work that in, or even in your games? How do you approach it with that in mind?
In my games, I like whenever we do the anthem, I bow my head and I pray for the game. I pray for the safety of my team. I pray for the safety of really everybody there for travel. I pray like that everything goes according to His plan. When I'm coaching, like I'm trying to work it in better and like because I don't want to like fully like I don't want to scare kids off sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'll be like, remember like there's someone bigger you're playing for. It's not just for you, and it's like a big thing on our team. Like we'll pray before games, we'll pray at the end of practice. Like it's a really good community here, and our coach really pushes that for us, and she wants us to have a good relationship with God. Having that faith is really important for me because if I'm not locked in on that, I will like not do great at all. I will be so out of it. It'll be really bad for me. So I need to like ground myself in that and having like my specific like Psalm 23, He lies me down in green pastures and He leads me to the water. Like that's really important for me. Matthew 6:20-34, He provides for the flowers of the field. And why would He not provide for me? Like He dresses the lilies and they're cared for. And the ravens, like they don't have a barn. Like He still feeds them. Like all that stuff is really, those are the main 2 that like are going through my mind all the time. Like just because I'm having a rough time doesn't mean He's not there for me. And like when my athletes are like having that hard time, like, hey, like it's okay. You're going to be taken care of.
I went to a Jesuit high school, and I always did the same thing: pray before games, and just even in life too. But I think you said the best thing that I took from that too is the grounding aspect. It's like no matter what you do in sports, it's not the biggest thing in the world. I think athletes get lost in that sometimes, and that's where they get in trouble. If they have a bad game, or even honestly the flip, if they have a really good game, they get lost sometimes too, where it's like they think that they're, better than their team or better than the sport. But if you keep yourself grounded, never get too high with the highs, never get too low with the lows, and have like faith in God as a part of that, I think it's really important for young kids to just like, have that as their backbone, because otherwise it's easy to get, like overworked or just kind of lose yourself in your thoughts. Maybe one of the last things, Sophia. So from a lacrosse coaching standpoint, again, like you're one of our top lacrosse coaches, what for other college athletes, and again, this isn't like a promo, but I'm always curious to ask people who join, what was your goal and like your thought behind getting into private one-on-one coaching and help young athletes? Was it a mix of like, hey, it's cool to make money and give time through coaching? Like it sounds like you want to be in sports long-term too. As a former college athlete myself, this is kind of how I got the idea for the business. I did it on the side for fun while I was playing basketball at Hopkins and just kept going and realized there's not a platform meant to help coaches grow. So we built it. But I kind of like got the bug for it when I was in college too, where it's like, wow, I can make more money than I would in any other job when I'm like doing basketball. This is a no-brainer. But how did you come to that realization? And I guess what motivates you to keep doing it, out of the season?
I think it's really important. Like, I think it's important to train up the next generation and like take what you've learned and give them the good advice, because like I went like all over the place of what I wanted to do in college. Like when I was in middle school, I fully thought I was going to play volleyball, and like in elementary school, I fully thought I was going to play basketball in college. Like I like had these plans, and like I had these role models for me. So like when I was in middle school, there was this one girl that was a senior, and she helped me with basketball. She would like come to our practices and she would stay after just to help me, which was great. And I had all these people that were like older than me that were trying to mentor me, and I want to be that for other people because they've made a difference. Like I wear my number 31 because of a girl who helped me, and she's the one who got me into playing basketball and volleyball, and like I look up to her so much. And I have these people that I want, and I want to be that person for someone else. And like honestly, it's not really it's really cool for me to like make that impact on kids. And I've had so many coaches in my life that have made me want to be a better person and to be a better athlete. So I want to be that for someone else. And like my high school strength coaches are what helped me shape my future and what I want to do. So like when I'm done with school, I want to be a strength coach, and like building this resume of like, okay, I know that this method of coaching works, this method doesn't. I want to like build these like things up. So I have that for my future. And I just like being a role model is really important for me. Like being able to mentor younger people who want to be in my place is really cool for me too.
That's awesome. That's what it's all about. Again, like what you do from an income standpoint with training, it's cool and it's a great way to do it. But I think if you don't have the love for helping young kids get better, you're never going to stick with it, and it's never going to be as fulfilling as it could be. That's always been the coolest part to me, is seeing coaches like have the success stories of I helped a kid get on from the B team to the A team, or they played in high school, or they played in college because of me. And like those stories are very real. I've seen them firsthand and through all of our coaches too. So good for you for like having that mentality and not just doing the skills part, but also the role model piece. Because I think that's why a lot of parents want to find a coach for their kids, is if they didn't play in college, or even if they did, probably just like not always following mom and dad. It's cool to see somebody else who's like been where you want to go. So honestly, Sophia, this was so much fun. I can't wait to share it though. Again, a lot of really good clips, I think, not just lacrosse players, but athletes in general, about everything you talked about, the training tips, the faith-based stuff, like how to play in college and get along even when you're not having a good game, all that stuff. I think young athletes will definitely take to heart. So appreciate your time and feedback. And yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much.